Saji Lukos is a practitioner of life mission. Some of you have been in my life mission class, and from his website, the mission of my life is to glorify God by conforming daily to the likeness of Christ, living carefully as a faithful husband, father, and an obedient servant of the gospel, and to be used by God to bring as many unsaved as possible to Christ and to disciple them. Now, I would have to say that would be an A+ when it comes to the life mission class. God has done a great work in the life of Saji Lukos. At the age of 20, 1979, he trusted Christ. He had been born in South India in Kerala. Some of you have heard of that, into a nominal Christian family. But actually, his family expelled him from his home when he trusted Christ. And yet, God's grace prevailed as he had a part in leading every member of his family to Christ, and they are all serving Christ in various parts of India. In fact, the amazing thing about Mission India is to see the number of Lukos brothers and family members that God has used to serve there. Saji has a master's degree in business plus a Master of Divinity from Trinity Evangelical Divinity School up in Illinois. He started as an accountant by choice, but God has transformed him into a servant and witness and involved in founding Mission India and Reaching India Mission International, which is the U.S. name for the organization. They're involved in evangelism and church planting, in leadership development, and in compassion projects such as orphanages. My favorite Saji Lukos story involves the first time Kathy and I had the privilege of meeting him. We had flown up to Delhi from Nagpur in central India, and they picked us up at the airport and they rushed us through the traffic, which didn't really rush very well at all. We reached a hotel where Saji was staying, and we discovered two things immediately when we reached there, when we met him. Our brother had a fever of about 103. He was very sick, and he had just led one of the wait staff from the hotel to faith in Jesus Christ. This is a man who doesn't let anything stand in his way when it comes to evangelism and discipleship. It is my honor to encourage you to welcome our brother Saji Lukos.
Thank you, Don, and for that wonderful introduction. And only a problem, you took 15 minutes of my preaching time. And you heard about me. I come from South India, the state of Kerala. Therefore, I have another problem. I have a southern accent like some of y'all. A young man, his name is Jason, fell in love with a college girl, but did not know how to propose marriage to her. He was a little bit shy. So after much thinking, he asked, Amy, would you like to be the mother of my children? And Amy replied, why not? How many have you? I am humbled to be back here in Birmingham. Chicago, where I live, that's a wonderful city. That's the city I really love in this country. The second city, Birmingham. I almost moved to Trussville for a few years ago. I think 1999, then God changed everything. We decided to stay in Chicago. So many friends in this state. I love to be back in Alabama. Thank you, Mr. President, for inviting me to be part of this conference. This is the first day, a lot of introduction. And my wife has been fasting every Tuesday for this conference. I don't want to come, a lot of conference, for the sake of the conference, young people come together, they put together this conference. I don't want to have another conference. There must be some real outcome, radical obedience to God. Because America, we know, hardly now 10-15% believe in Jesus Christ born again. So many others believe in Christianity, but we have a problem, the world, and still so many unreached people. If this is all true, and where is the obedience? In our prayer this morning, I was alluding, we have so many fans of Christians, so many fans, but radical Christians, radical in the right sense, to obey God. So and also all our Bible students, I just came from India Monday, and I told our seminary students and Bible students, and they have been fasting and praying for this 3 days conference. So it is my prayer, end of the day, that God will speak to you every day, end of the day of Wednesday. You will look to heaven, you look to Jesus, and look at He was not ashamed for you and me, and you will look to Him, Father, Lord, here I am. I'm willing to make a difference in my school here, in my community. I'm willing to go to Saudi Arabia. I'm willing to go to Eritrea. I'm going to pour my life for you. And that's my prayer here. And as I stay here 3 days, that every minute, that will be my cry to God. I'm going to build my messages. Today, the question is man lost? Because many people don't believe. In India, if you say you are in trouble, is man lost? That is, well, we know as Christian, the answer is yes. And the second message tonight, the imperative of missions, the theological imperative of missions. By the way, I am borrowing so many of these paragraphs from a dear professor from Trinity, Herbert Kane. Those who are mission professors, you know that book, Christian Missions, Biblical Perspective. And then the third message, I will have two topical messages. Is man lost? The theological imperatives. Then message 3 and 4, it will be expository. Message 3 will be titled Missions Near and Far. Missions here in Birmingham, missions in Tuscaloosa, missions in Montgomery, or wherever you come from, missions near and far. You are God's plan. God has no other plan. You are the plan of God. And message 4, that will be taken from the book of Ephesians, chapter 2. And we are being transformed to do good works. So, two applications, two messages, and then two, maybe a little bit theology. And faculty, thank you for all of you coming, and I really appreciate.